What if your neighbor's final gift was a box that unlocked a secret so deadly it turned the person next door into a threat? Welcome to Shocking Stories, where we uncover the chilling truths hidden in the legacies left behind. Today, we're diving into a tale about a woman in Louisville whose inherited box from a neighbor revealed a murder that hit far too close to home. Ever think a kind gesture could lead to danger? Buckle up, because this story will make you rethink your neighbors. Let's dive in. Sarah Mitchell was a 33-year-old freelance writer living in a charming apartment building in Louisville, Kentucky, about 7 miles from the city's vibrant Nulu district. Her neighbor, Evelyn Carter, an 80-year-old widow, had been a warm presence, often sharing cookies 20 feet across the hall. When Evelyn passed away, her will, delivered by her lawyer, left Sarah a locked wooden box stored 10 feet from her living room. One evening, Sarah pried it open, finding a handwritten confession. Evelyn admitted witnessing her husband George kill a man in 1987, 10 miles away in Jeffersontown. Sarah's heart stopped. Evelyn had lived with a murderer. Sarah called her friend Emma, a true crime enthusiast who lived 4 miles away in St. Matthews. Emma, shocked, urged, "That's a cold case clue. Dig deeper." Sarah searched online for the 1987 Jeffersontown murder, finding an article about a bar owner, Frank Russo, shot dead with no arrests. George Carter, Evelyn's husband, was questioned but had an alibi. Sarah's stomach churned. George died in 2000, but their son, Daniel Carter, 45, was her landlord, living 50 feet away in the building's top floor unit. Was Daniel hiding his father's crime? What would you do if you inherited a confession? Sarah decided to investigate, starting with the box. It contained a photo of Frank Russo with George, taken days before the murder, and a blood-stained key tagged FR. She confided in Emma, who suggested hiring a private investigator. Sarah contacted Lisa Torres, a PI based 5 miles away in Highlands, who specialized in historical crimes. Lisa agreed to investigate Daniel, warning Sarah to stay cautious, as family secrets often breed danger. Lisa's initial findings were unsettling. Daniel had a sealed 1990 assault charge, and his financials showed large cash deposits since 2010, unexplained by his landlord income. Red herring. Sarah suspected Daniel had committed the murder, not George. Sarah kept the box hidden in her closet, 10 feet from her bedroom, acting normal around Daniel, who often fixed her apartment's plumbing 20 feet from her kitchen, but she noticed him lingering, eyeing her belongings. One night, her apartment's motion sensor, 15 feet from her front door, caught someone outside at 2 a.m. A text from an unknown number buzzed, "Leave the past alone." Sarah's hands shook. Was Daniel protecting his father's legacy, or was he hiding something worse? Ever feel like your landlord's watching you too closely? Let's see where Sarah's search leads. You ever feel like you're holding a piece of history that could burn down everything you know about the people around you, with every clue pointing to danger next door? That's where Sarah was, clutching a confession from her late neighbor, linking a 1980s murder to her landlord's family. A shadowy figure outside her door and a threatening text. Someone wanted her to stop digging. Welcome back to Shocking Stories, where we're diving deeper into a Louisville mystery that's only getting darker. Ready to see what Sarah uncovers? This one's about to get intense. What would you do if your landlord was tied to a murder? Sarah's first step was to investigate Daniel Carter. She and Lisa reviewed the confession, noting Evelyn's claim that George killed Frank Russo over a debt at a Jeffersontown bar 10 miles away. Lisa pulled George's records, finding a 1987 police report listing him as a suspect, but Daniel, then 17, provided his alibi. Red herring. Sarah thought Daniel was coerced into lying, protecting his abusive father. She searched the box again, finding a hidden note from Evelyn. Daniel knows more than he says. Sarah's heart raced. Was Daniel complicit? Sarah tailed Daniel to a warehouse in Jeffersontown, 10 miles away, parking 150 feet back, and saw him meet a man with a scar, exchanging a briefcase. She snapped photos, but the man spotted her, his gaze chilling. Lisa identified him as Victor Klein, a former associate of Russo's, released from prison in 2015, living 6 miles away in Fern Creek. Sarah planted a recorder in Daniel's maintenance closet, 20 feet from her apartment, catching him say, "Sarah's got the box. We need it back." Sarah's fear spiked. Daniel was after her. Red herring. She believed Victor was the real killer, using Daniel to cover up. Lisa hacked Victor's phone, finding texts to Daniel about the 1987 job and silencing the writer. Sarah's blood ran cold. Daniel was covering a crime. She confronted Emma, who urged her to check the key's lock. Sarah tried it on Daniel's storage unit, 30 feet from the building's lobby, finding a locked safe. That night, her apartment was searched, 10 feet from her bedroom, with only the box's hiding spot disturbed. A text buzzed, "You're playing with fire." Sarah's anger flared. Her landlord was a threat. Sarah checked Evelyn's confession again, finding a hidden map marking the Jeffersontown warehouse, labeled GC's Stash. Lisa confirmed Daniel leased it through a shell company, active since 2000. Sarah and Lisa staked out the warehouse, 200 feet from the loading dock, seeing Daniel move crates at midnight. Lisa called Detective Maria Nguyen at Louisville PD, 5 miles away, reporting suspicious activity. Nguyen warned Sarah to stay clear, but she needed proof of Daniel's role. As they left, Victor's truck followed them for 3 miles, then vanished. Her phone buzzed. "The key's not yours." Note that. Sarah realized Daniel wasn't just covering for George. He was involved in the murder. Ever get that sinking feeling your landlord's a criminal? Let's see how Sarah fights back. You ever feel like you're one step from exposing a crime next door, but the person signing your lease could silence you for good? That's where Sarah was, holding a confession, tying her landlord to a 1980s murder, with proof he was more than a witness. A searched apartment, a warehouse of secrets, and a deadly tale. Her life depended on escaping his grip. Welcome back to Shocking Stories, where we're about to hit the final twist in a tale that turned a box into a fight for survival. Ready for the shock of a lifetime? This one's going to hit you hard. What would you do if your landlord was a killer? Sarah took the evidence to Detective Nguyen, who linked the warehouse to a 1987 money laundering scheme tied to Frank Russo's bar. Plot twist: Daniel, not George, killed Russo during a botched robbery, with Evelyn covering for her son, not her husband. Red herring resolved. Nguyen planned a sting at the warehouse 10 miles away, but Sarah needed to confront Daniel. Her heart raced. She'd trusted him with her keys, 20 feet from her apartment door, unaware of his guilt. Sarah confronted Daniel in his unit, 50 feet from her apartment, showing the confession. "What did you do, Daniel?" she demanded. His face twisted. "You should have left it alone," he snarled, admitting he'd shot Russo at 17, panicked over a debt George owed, and Evelyn hid the truth to save him. Daniel pulled a gun, locking the door 10 feet away. Sarah screamed, dodging, as Emma, alerted by a panicked call, banged on the door 50 feet from the hall, distracting Daniel. He fled to the warehouse 10 miles away, where Sarah and Lisa followed, with Nguyen's team 200 feet behind. At the warehouse, 30 feet from a loading bay, Sarah found Daniel with Victor, burning records. "You're ruining me," Daniel shouted, aiming at her 20 feet away. Sarah stalled, asking about Evelyn, and Daniel faltered, revealing his mother's guilt had driven her to confess. Victor lunged, but Lisa tackled him 15 feet away as Daniel fired, grazing Sarah's leg. Nguyen's team stormed in, cuffing both 10 feet from the crates. A search uncovered cash and ledgers detailing Russo's laundering, with Daniel's fingerprints on the murder weapon hidden in the safe.